Oh, we did just hit bump stops even harder with my weight back here.
The problem with Uber drivers is not the suspension of the car, but their throttle calibration and their actual foot.
Right.
They drive like this.
Yeah.
Here, I'm just being your average local Uber driver.
Okay.
Alyssa, I have great news.
What is it?
Come on over.
Okay.
This vehicle launches with NACS.
Whoa, no way. I never knew a Tesla to have NACS in the US.
North American Charging Standard, or J3400. Interestingly, this Model Y has a different onboard charger and a different battery pack than we've seen before. Let's ignore the Model 3 for the rest of this video
because it's confusing.
That's the one to go for.
Yeah.
I think. To close the front trunk is unlike any Tesla in history.
Really?
Yes.
Show me. Whoa.
Closed.
Thank you to our sponsors for today's video: Eaton, Ionna, InfyPower, and Nokian Tyres. This video is brought to you by Eaton. Eaton is a one-stop shop for implementing reliable and innovative EV charging infrastructure at your site. Across all applications, Eaton's EV charging infrastructure, hardware and software, gives you the scalability, flexibility, and intelligence you need to charge today and scale up tomorrow. Learn more at eaton.com/EVCI. This video is also brought to you by Ionna, North America's premier charging network. With unmatched commitment to elevating the customer experience, Ionna is opening America's roads to all EVs, giving drivers the coverage they need, the reliability they deserve, and the amenities they crave. And Nokian Tyres, a leader in safety and sustainability. The latest generations of Nokian Tyres products come with the Electric Fit emblem that certifies they're a seamless fit for electric vehicles. And most of those all-season and all-weather tires come from Nokian Tyres' award-winning factory in the United States. Learn more at nokiantires.com/EV.
Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Reviews video. Welcome here to the Austin, Texas area. About earlier this year, I don't know how many months ago that was, 9 months ago, Alyssa and I were in Shanghai, China, where we were able to be pretty much the first people to present to you the then new Tesla Model Y Juniper. Alyssa, that was a cool experience, wasn't it?
That was phenomenal. Just once in a lifetime opportunity. It was so cool.
Yeah, it was great to be in China and also really cool to, again, kind of be the first ones outside of Tesla to see the Model Y at the time. Well, now we're in Austin to reveal to the world a new variant of the Tesla Model Y, and it's not the L and it's not the Performance, it's the new standard Tesla Model Y, which should be the cheapest Model Y, of course it is, and we have it in the fully base configuration. And what you see here is now the cheapest Model Y you can buy. We're going to run through the pricing, the specs, the new battery pack, the new motor that's in the rear. We're going to be taking a look at all the content that was removed, but also some interesting workarounds that have been added to make it still a very usable vehicle. We'll of course be sharing our opinions on what Tesla's done, both good and bad, and discussing the price, which, Alyssa, I don't think is cheap enough.
I would have to agree.
So with all that, we're going to get into the Model Y. If you guys are curious and you're online browsing around, at the same time this video goes live, there's a new Model 3 standard that has launched as well that actually is a completely different set of, I would say, differences to this Model Y. That video will be going up tomorrow on this channel. And spoiler alert, I think that's the one to go for.
I think so too.
With all that said, let's get into the Model Y standard, some testing, our reviews, suspension, blah, 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 all in this video. Time to do it. Guys, I'd like to say a huge thank you to 3W Floor Mats and for something I have truly never seen before. Inside of this box is the brand new Tesla Model Y's floor mat from 3W. And you notice that this is a rubberized high quality floor mat fitted perfectly for the Tesla Model Y with a metal kick plate, but it's also carpeted. What the heck? I've never seen carpeted rubber floor mats. 3W Mats makes the best mats for all Tesla vehicles, including Model S, 3, X, and Y. As I go to insert this in the Model Y, you will notice that this is a non-smelling, perfect fit rubberized floor mat for the Model Y Juniper. And I absolutely love this carpeted finish. It perfectly matches the car. It looks super classy. And if for whatever reason you needed to remove it, it just snaps right out of place. So you can take it, vacuum it, clean it, or just throw it in for the nice date night occasion. Not only do they make front floor mats, they make mats to protect every area of your Tesla Model Y, including the entire trunk, including the seat backs, which is great if you have dogs, underfloor storage, and more. So all you need to do if you get these things dirty is rinse them off, let them dry, throw them back in the car. Extremely durable, extremely high quality, and perfectly fit to your vehicle of choice. I'll leave all the links down in the description below. Thanks to 3W for sponsoring this video. First things first, I want to just show everyone around this thing before we dive into the details. Yeah, we're going to go through a design tour. There's so many little changes to this car that I didn't really get at first. And then I spent a little bit more time with it and I was like, oh, some weird differences, stuff that you wouldn't expect. Little things like the rear trunk lid no longer has that separate component with the squared off glass. It's now bent back here. You can see there's no reflective light bar, just the actual lighting components of the vehicle are mounted body side. But it still retains a power trunk. So there's plenty to get into here. Tesla has gone through and removed all of the vegan leather, whatever it's called, the plastic leather and all the surfaces, and they've replaced it with the same textile from the Tesla Semi, which is super cool, and then left the edges for that vegan leather material. I think it's actually a fantastic interior. They've also done some other things, and we'll get into all the nitty-gritty. You can see the seat controls have been removed from the side. Those have been pushed into software. The steering rack is now manually adjustable, which is an interesting one, and I actually think a welcome addition to this car. And then there's some like big question marks up front. I can load up, oh, actually the app's on that phone, but the front trunk is no longer weatherproof. So many little differences and stuff. So anyway, that's just a quick visual tour. Let's go through the specs, what's different. And I've got this handy dandy data sheet, which most of it's already in my head. First of all, the actual price of the vehicle. Well, it's basically 40 grand before order and destination fees. The cheapest you'll be able to actually buy one of these things is like 41,600, I believe is what it comes down to. 41,640. That pricing might change between now and about a week from now when this video will go live and the configurator launches. So, you know, play around on the Tesla configurator for the most up-to-date pricing. This is still an over $40,000 vehicle. And by the way, we should mention that does not include any lane centering at that price. For that price, you actually only get adaptive cruise control, which seemingly doesn't work on this one, or full self-driving. You have to pay as an upgrade for, not sure the pricing, not going to be cheap. This one does have that, and that works really well. And we'll talk all about that later on. There's a new wheel and tire package for this car, the standard wheel and tire package. I specifically asked for this one. Most of the other ones that were here for this Tesla event that we're attending had the upgraded wheels, which are the, I believe, the normal standard aero wheel for the outgoing Model Y. And these are the 18s, and I think they look honestly pretty cool. What do you think, Alyssa?
Yeah, I like them a lot. They're definitely different, and I mean, yeah, they've grown on me. They're not as like bold, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going base model and going cheap, embrace it. Go for these. Tesla asked me not to pull these wheel covers off. I was going to, but I told them, okay. That was the one stipulation they gave me. They're
really?
like, you can do charging tests, range, whatever you want. You can do it. Don't pull the wheel covers off.
Okay, fine.
And I was like, all right, well, as soon as I find one at a Tesla showroom, first thing I'm going to do now, because how bad is it under there if they don't want us to show it?
I'm sure somebody's going to pull them off at some point.
Yeah, so whoever can get to it first, let's see what's under those covers. But I agreed not to do it. It's the only thing I agreed to about this. Comes on the Hankook Ion Evo AS tire, which those have really been amazing in terms of range and efficiency. Later on in this video, we're going to actually do an efficiency test on this car at 70 miles an hour to gauge how efficient it really is. In terms of the EPA rated range on these wheels, it's 321 miles of range. That's huge. So I thought when Tesla was going to do a cheap standard Model 3 or Model Y, we didn't know a Model 3 was coming until we came to this event. I thought it was just a cheap Model Y. I was like, they've got to make it real cheap. I want to see this thing like 35 grand for a Model Y. That was my hope. because I think then it would just accelerate the EV adoption even farther. But I was thinking they would do it by putting a small battery in the car, maybe 45 to 52, 54 kilowatt hours, somewhere around there. And, you know, maybe it would have 200 miles of EPA rated range. Well, we just spoke to the whole Tesla team and their engineering team, and they really have this thing around wanting all of their vehicles to have 300 miles of EPA rated range or more. And I get that, especially for a new EV owner who may have a lot of range anxiety. But I think with the incredible supercharger network that they've built, Tesla could offer an even cheaper version of this car with like a small LFP battery pack in that 45 to 50 kilowatt hour range, like a city version. And if they can knock $5,000 off the price, that'd be amazing, wouldn't it? Let me know what you think. Is there room for an even less expensive, lesser range Tesla Model Y? Discussing with the product managers, they pretty much took everything they felt comfortable taking out of the vehicle to get the cost as low as possible. It's $5,000 less than the new Model Y Premium. I say new because that's the new name for the old car. Essentially, the standard Model Y is now called Model Y Premium, and then this is the new standard Model Y. So what do they take out in the standard versus the premium? Well, quite a bit more. Just going through, I mean, they've done manual folding seats in the back, manual adjustable steering wheel, no ventilated seats, first row heated seats, second row is not. They've removed some of the frequency response damper from the suspension and changed around the tuning of the car, which we're going to take this on to a great suspension testing road to look at primary and secondary ride quality later on in this video. They've gone to manually adjustable air vents in the rear. They've taken out the HEPA filter from the car, and the list goes on, and we'll basically run through all of those now. And I'm going to ignore this cheat sheet because it's throwing me off guard. Alyssa, I hear a helicopter behind us.
Yeah, he's doing something around here.
Yeah, are they doing like water tests over there or what? I think they're doing some fire training, don't know. Anyway, pretty sick.
Yeah.
If anyone knows anything about helicopters, reach out to me. I'd love to go for a ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun. I've only been in a couple, but
yeah,
I'd love to get my license one day. Out of spec choppers. Back to the Model Y. Design-wise, Alyssa.
Design-wise, I mean, I like it. I think it looks good. You know, I'm surprised that they've changed so much visually on this car versus just kind of keeping the shells the same. But I don't know how much, you know, additional that light bar cost, if that was a huge cost thing. And
yeah, they've redone the whole front end of the car.
Really, they have, yeah.
It kind of looks like a marshmallow now.
Yeah.
But I like it. And I think again, you're embracing the cheap and cheerful mindset here. You no longer have the light bar that runs across the front. Your main beam is no longer in a split system. So you do have a, you know, LED, basically all of your lighting components are in this one section right here. So you have your daytime running light, which is this section right here. Then you have your main beam and your high beam, which is that LED there. No matrix high beams on Model Y standard. But interestingly, the Model 3 standard, which is even a few $1,000s less expensive than this car, does have matrix high beam.
Yeah, honestly, there's just a whole video in why all the different changes they made to this versus
Let's ignore the Model 3 for the rest of this video.
It's
because
get confusing.
That's the one to go for.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, if you need a Model Y, then this maybe is the one to go for. But regardless, so you now have main beam, high beam, turn signal, and DRL all in one situation right here, which I think is really cool. The one thing that I'm not seeing, oh, it's hidden down here. I was going to say, where's the little orange reflector that's required? It's in there. You just have to look at it from a low angle. If you can see the little reflector in there.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I can see it from far back here. So then what they did was they basically sculpted the whole front bumper to be as efficient as possible. So this will be the most efficient Model Y, perhaps the most efficient SUV on the market in the world, which is Model Y and really Tesla in general has proven to be incredibly efficient over the years, and this should be no exception. As we continue in the front, I'm going to open up the front trunk really quick. And again, normally you do this from your phone app, but we're filming on that phone, so I'll just pop it open right here. Couple big differences up here. Again, keep in mind this is still an over $40,000 car. Stuff missing here.
Yeah, I didn't understand when they were going over all of this to why they would take that away.
I mean, the whole goal here is to get the BOM cost down, the bill of materials cost. However, this actually does feel a bit too much cost cutting to me.
Yeah, I mean, because it's just a lot of people use this to put in like their suitcases and their backpacks, but if they're traveling and it's raining, it's now not weatherproof.
Now it's not weatherproof. So the cargo capacity has actually changed from Model Y Premium to Model Y Standard. Technically, this has 1 cubic foot less cargo capacity. And it's because they had to re-rate the front trunk. And I was like, what's going on with the front trunk? And it honestly looks to be about the same size. I just think it's the way they calculate has changed. So I don't think you're actually losing any capacity. And if anything, you can store a couple extra things in here.
I wouldn't.
I mean, you could.
You could, yeah. Inherently, you definitely could.
Yeah, put an air horn in there or something. That'd be pretty cool. But look at this material. Come on up here, Alyssa. This is this weird kind of hard, almost CFRP feeling polymer, I don't know, synthetic material. It's not straight plastic. It looks almost recycled, which is kind of cool, with a front trunk here that is not weather sealed. So there's no sealant around the hood. And this hood is no longer aluminum. It's now a steel hood, which that makes no difference to me whatsoever. There's no impact to safety on the car, I should mention. They expect it to get the same crash test results as the normal Model Y Premium. To close the front trunk is unlike any Tesla in history.
Really?
Yes.
Show me. Whoa.
Closed.
Whoa. I mean, honestly, I can't tell you how many times that I've opened the front trunk and totally forgot to fully close it and have driven away.
And then you're like, you know, pushing down on this thing. You can watch the hood buckle and all of that. The aluminum's going.
There's bugs all over it, whatever it might be. It might be hot. And yeah, I mean, so I like that. I like the fact that you don't have to push on it.
Let's do that one more time, because this is the first time. It's not a soft close. It's just because you don't have that plastic or the rubber gasket that you have to squeeze down. And because it is not intended to be weatherproof. So, you know, you can still store a charging cable up here, or cooling, whatever you want to do. You know, plenty of space to cool. You still have your windshield washer fluid up here, which is nice as well. I still think it's crazy that the standard equipment on this car comes with more stuff than the new Porsche Cayenne will probably come with as standard.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, this Tesla really gives you a ton of stuff.
Yeah, they do.
But I just love this.
I do like that a lot.
How cool is that? As longtime Tesla owners, that's always the biggest pain. Like when someone borrows one of my cars, I'm like, now use the palm of your hands on both sides of the T in this one place. Just
it's painful.
close it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. What do we have different up here? So I can see that oh no, there are active shutters in the front. It still retains the front camera. This car still has the entire hardware 4 sensor suite as the standard, or I keep calling the old Model Y the standard Model Y, but the Model Y Premium. So you lose nothing in terms of autonomy capability. And the cameras are all pretty much in the same exact placement, but they have changed a little bit of angles around. They mentioned especially on the rear, because the rear tailgate is different. So up front, already tons of little changes to bring the cost down. And to be honest, Alyssa, I don't think anything we've discussed so far really detracts from the ownership experience. My opinion is, I actually think this looks better without the light bar.
Yeah, no, I agree. And the guy said at night it's really cool too. So I'm excited to see what that might look like too.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a shot of the lights turned on and everything at night, because definitely want to take a look into that. So the new Model Y came with some braking system upgrades over the previous generation. That is also carried through here to the Model Y Standard. So you still have a brake-by-wire system, which gives you 2 benefits. The first is a lot of people don't like that one-pedal drive feeling. In this car, you can actually turn regen down, but you don't really lose efficiency, because when you hit the brake pedal, it will blend regen before it adds friction brakes, which is really nice. Also, when you're using autopilot, I guess this car doesn't offer autopilot. When you're using FSD or traffic aware cruise control, adaptive cruise, the brake pedal doesn't actually move when you're using those functions. It stays in a fixed position, and it basically uses a one-box braking design. And it's really great, and it feels good as well. It's tuned very nice. I like the braking system on this car, and yep, this retains that. I would love to know what's behind the wheel cover. I keep looking at it, wanting to rip this thing off, but unfortunately not possible. Let's take a look at the tires that are on offer. We already mentioned their Hankook Ion Evo AS SUV tires that are Tesla optimized with the EV badging. And they are in the size of 235, 55, 18. And yep, interesting. In the rear, I'm guessing the same. I would not expect. Oh, wait a second. What did I say the front was?
235.
235, 55. Yep, same back here. 235, 55, R18. So a square setup that you can rotate, which is, I think, a really nice thing, especially because this is a rear drive car. You're probably going to burn through the rears quicker, nicer to rotate. I don't know if these will fit over the new Model Y performance brakes, but I do know the Martian 18-inch wheels will. So shout out to our buddy Drew, who owns Martian wheels. Not a paid sponsor or anything, but I put Martian wheels on all of my Teslas, and I do know, because I know the comments are going to say, will this fit on the performance? I asked Tesla, they didn't know, but Drew's Martian wheels, especially the MW08s, fit perfectly over the Model Y performance brakes or 3, and it's a great winter set, and we run them on our cars, so can't recommend them enough. With all that said, the actual structure of the vehicle is the same, but I want to talk about this glass roof. Alyssa, really nice that they put a glass roof on this car, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We were all pretty surprised why they would do that. We thought that it would be cheaper to
do a steel roof.
But they said it's not. So they kept it.
So they have huge, like, I guess, a big supplier relationship with this glass roof.
Yeah, I guess so.
And that's where it's actually cheaper to put the glass roof on. They also don't have to retool the paint booth to, like, you know, put paint up here or anything like that. So you would think, great, you get a glass roof in the base Model Y, right?
Yeah, but...
But then they put a headliner over it, which you would think would cost more.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah, there is no visual...
I've never seen a car go to the trouble of putting an entire beautiful glass roof on and then covering it with headliner.
Yeah, that just seems like an added step, and I don't know if anybody has asked that question yet.
Yes.
We did?
Yeah, we asked why.
No, we asked... Well, yeah, we asked why, and they said it was... But we didn't ask why they didn't just keep it open.
No, that's what I did ask.
Oh, yeah,
So,
we do know why.
Yeah, not only was it cheaper to go with the glass roof, they claim they closed it in for 2 main benefits, and one detractor, actually. There's slightly less headroom in the car, but the Model Y already has great headroom, so no issues there. And I almost think the new seats go a little bit lower than the old ones, so I wouldn't worry about the headroom. The reason they did this was for maximum of efficiency.
Right. Yes.
And so you have less solar loading of the cabin, which means the HVAC system has to work less hard.
Which makes sense.
I get that, but then just give me a cover that I can snap in to sell as an efficiency cover.
Right.
The reason that I think they did it was if you come on in here, you'll notice they took the double pane window out.
Right.
So they took all the acoustic laminated glass out of the vehicle. And so I think what they were trying to do was get the overall noise level of the cabin lessened. And I will say, having this enclosed is quieter than having it open. But all it does is transfer the noise coming from here. And so you still hear some wind noise coming from the windows. We'll talk about all that when we go for a drive. But I think it's not worth the compromise. And I can't wait for someone to get one of this and start cutting the headliner and to see if you can actually see out the glass roof.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of been my intrusive thought this whole time, is like, can I just cut this and see the roof? Like, what have they put in between? What's in between?
I don't know. That feels like it's adding cost and not taking cost away.
Right, but it might not be. We don't manufacture cars, so we
That's right. I don't know. I get their arguments, but I also don't get their arguments at the same time. Now, coming around the side, all is pretty much the same. Like I mentioned, the suspension is different, though, and it actually sits lower than the standard car, but it looks like it sits higher.
Right now, well, yeah, because we got the little baby wheels on.
Yeah, but I think the overall diameter of the tire should be the same, 18 or 19, pretty close to it. However, the new suspension now is just a completely passive suspension system. So both this and the Model Y Premium use steel springs, no air, and no powered damper. However, what the Model Y Premium has is a frequency response damper. So as it gets an input, it can adjust through a series of check valves, basically. It can adjust the output of the suspension. So you can fine tune some secondary road texture feel with primary ride characteristics passively based off of wheel input. Here it is just basically like the previous generation Model Y, where there's one setting for the car regardless of what's happening. We should mention it's an extremely soft setup though, Alyssa.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, especially if you're riding in the front. We'll have a video clip. Actually, you know what? Should we just put in the suspension testing clip now?
Yeah, let's do it right now.
We'll put it in now. But if you're riding in the front, the summary is very nice, very comfortable, very smooth. The rear, still too bouncy.
Very bouncy.
Yep, let's roll the clip.
Suspension test time. This car has that new basic suspension system, no frequency response or frequency adaptive dampers. Really curious to see how it does. And I've actually used this road for testing suspension with Cybertruck. It is a great mix of primary inputs, really big stuff to get a sense of suspension travel, how well it handles the weight of the car, and also comfort. There's a lot of off camber bumps, so we can look at head toss, and there's a bunch of little road texture things, so we can look at secondary ride input to get a feeling as to how this suspension system is tuned, whether it's tuned to the sporty side or comfort side, if it can sustain the weight of the car. And yeah, I'm really curious to see how this goes. So what we're going to do is run this twice, actually. We're going to run it both in the same direction using the same bit of road, but I'm going to sit in the front seat driving on the first leg. Then I will sit in the back seat riding. And one thing we really missed in our first drive review of the Model Y Juniper, the now called Premium, was the front ride comfort was amazing in that car, but the back seat ride comfort still was lacking even compared to competition. Oh man, I got an autopilot strike earlier and it's yelling at me about it. It's so sensitive as to where you watch your. I was trying to put in a turnaround spot for us, and that's because the car automatically shifted to park. Now we're in drive, off-road assist, which should back off the stability control a little bit. So I kind of want to know if we can spin the tires pulling out of here. Then we're going to run, Alyssa, we have to pick a speed. 50 miles an hour. Will be a good speed. I actually like to go a little bit, on the slower side to get that secondary road texture feedback. So let's pull out here, get it set to 50 miles an hour, and full throttle. So really picks up speed as we go. So let's go back to traction control auto. Cruise control is unavailable for some reason, but we're going to run roughly 50 miles an hour. All right, so you can see big bumps, lots of stuff going on here. I want to first talk about primary ride comfort. That's what's happening on these bumps here. It's tuned very much to the comfort side, at least up here. I can see the back wiggling around a little bit, and Alyssa, I'll get your opinion before I sit back there, of course. But on the primary ride side, even just on those initial bumps, really nicely, softly tuned, rounding off those edges. Very little choppiness from the suspension as well. And I think this was my major concern coming into this car, was the primary and secondary ride comfort. So the road texture definitely comes through, but I think having these big sidewalls does help a little bit as well. It's hard to know exactly what pressures we're running at because, again, it doesn't have that perfect TPMS. It just tells you when you're low. A bit like Volkswagen system's been doing this for a very long time. So continuing on, the road gets a little bit bumpier up this way, again maintaining that roughly 50 mile an hour feel. Very good. Now the secondary ride inputs, all that road texture, quite a bit of noise coming in from the tire when you hit those, but I have to say very little boominess. Wow, we just hit the bump stops on that.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. So I think they gave the suspension very much of a softer ride, but I don't think it can hold the weight of the car. Here's another big one. And didn't hit the bump stops there, but you can almost feel it kind of hop over those things. Wow, okay, very interesting. And coming over some more road texture through here. So we'll flip around and I'll give you my impression. So it's geared way softer, way smoother than I was expecting, which I honestly think is a pretty good attribute to have for this car. And I'll drive us back up. Full throttle. Let the traction control figure out. You can watch traction control unlock. Here we go. And then give us more power as we're going. That's just the motor ramp tuning. Really softly tuned. I actually think a nice suspension system up here in the front, but I'm watching you bounce around a lot in the back.
Yeah, there's just a lot of body movement in the back here. I mean, feeling like a side roll from and up and down. I mean, it's just a lot of
stuff.
Like, yeah, a lot of waving around. If you have stuff back here or anything, it's going to be shaken up for sure.
I'm really curious to ride back there. You know, I have to say, I think they tuned it pretty well, but I do worry what's going to happen when you load this thing up to max payload, or even with a big trailer, because we've hit bump stops twice on this road, which means the suspension's given us everything it can, and we've ran into max travel. So to me, probably a good approach, but I really think that frequency response damper would help a ton, especially on that secondary feedback coming in the road. You can feel some more road texture than I would have liked. But again, the other thing we should mention is it's not just about being the most comfortable car. Yeah, they probably could have backed this thing down as well. It still needs to hold itself you know, in a sporty characteristic, and we'll look at that later on in the video. But I think most people just drive on roads like this most of the time, and I have to say, I think they did a really nice job just tuning it for everyday ride comfort. We've had it on the highway quite a bit as well. Very comfortable for highway driving. So in general, I would say a very comfortable front seat position. I can't wait to try the back seat now. It's Alyssa's first time driving the car. Let's rock and roll. And we're gonna lock us in at 50 miles an hour. Same thing like we did before, and I'm gonna try it from the back seat. There's no cruise control. Yeah, for whatever reason, basic cruise isn't working here. Oh my gosh, instantly way more rear movement than the front, Alyssa.
Oh yeah. I'm curious to see how well you can hold the camera still.
Oh my gosh, this is actually pretty tough. Yeah, it's such a, oh my God. Okay, not good in the back.
No.
Just like standard Model Y, it's really not. And it's certainly better than the last generation Y, even, I would say. They really smoothed out those harsh inputs, but there's just a lot of butt movement going on back here.
Yeah, it definitely is not comfortable. I mean, my biggest worry is I think about our dogs, and poor Ellie would not like...
She'd be coming off the ground.
She would be flying.
Let's flip it around over some of these things. So, you know, I'm obviously, very comfortable with the back seat area here, but it just is some of those big bumps. It's just a Model Y thing. They're just always very bouncy in the back, and it just makes it kind of a bad Uber experience because you have so much movement going on back here. Now, we did choose the worst possible road to do this, but that's the point of suspension testing. And, you know, I have to say that's we did just hit bump stops even harder with my weight back here. So I really do wonder what happens when you load this thing up to max payload, how it handles some of these bumps.
Yeah, I'll say, being the driver now, like, it doesn't bother, like, I can see where you're so positive about everything.
Yeah, so it's nice up there, isn't it?
Yeah, and even just like being a passenger, it was a little bit worse than here. Maybe because I'm looking and anticipating things more, I'm not sure, but it definitely feels a lot smoother.
You can turn right here.
Turn right?
Yeah. I think that's a good suspension test.
Oh, there's stocks.
There's what?
Stocks.
Turn signal stocks, yeah. New Model Y's had that since the beginning.
I guess I haven't driven new Model Y, have I?
Yeah, I think you drove Brandon's, no?
I don't know. Probably, maybe. I just maybe didn't think about it.
So the back seat comfort suspension test is not nearly as good as I still think it should be, and it's not nearly as good as the front seat ride. Better than the previous generation Y, not as good as Juniper, and it's just lots of movement back here. I don't know what they need to do to tune a lot of that out, but they'd probably lose a lot of the performance characteristic of the car by making it comfortable back here, and I honestly think it might be worth that compromise. Let me know what you think in the comments. So that's the suspension of the new Model Y. Coming around to the back, this is where there's a whole bunch of interesting changes that make it different from the standard or premium Model Y. The rear glass is curved. So now they have to add another part. And I'm not an expert in making cars cheap, so I don't know why I should judge them on this, but you would think you would just reuse what you had before.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought process too, of like they've changed so much with this, but don't they just have an influx of stock on all the other stuff that the current Model Y already has?
Well, that's kind of the Model 3 argument, is the Model 3 standard, which we promised we wouldn't bring up again, is the same as the normal car.
Right.
in terms of body structure. This is where all the differences come.
Maybe there's more future with this, more future planning than we know.
Yeah, but I will say I think this looks better than the other Model Ys.
Yeah, no,
I think the
agree.
curved glass looks great. I think not having that extra piece here, which the whole argument for putting the extra piece on the trunk, which was like this plasticky weird thing back here, was because a lot of Model Y owners crash into stuff, back into stuff, and it's extremely expensive to replace it. That's true.
Yeah.
We all know the average ability of a Model Y driver is very low. The cars also don't really have emergency braking for close range objects,
No.
which is wild to me.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. No.
So anyway, now it's just all metal back here, which I think looks better. And you can see it's kind of curved down here. It's no longer this flat, angular.
It's not as boxy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think it looks way better without the dark plastic piece under here, that texturized plastic. And it just has this nice little non-light strip going across. I really like the way the back of this car looks in comparison to the nicer versions, which is weird.
Yeah, that is different.
Yeah. It also, this one's spec'd with the tow package, which is optional, and you can tow the same amount as the normal car. I can't remember what it is. It's either 3,500 pounds or 5,000 pounds. I think it's 3,500. Don't remember what Model Y can tow, and it's not in the spec sheet, so you can look it up online. Tell me where I'm wrong. Okay, no cargo cover coming with this one, but it does have the placeholder for it. You see that shelf right there? Mm-hmm. So maybe that's just for design, but no cargo cover in this, which I think is a little bit of a problem, Alyssa.
Yeah.
Because this car does have a bit of the boominess going down the highway that like the first generation Model Y had.
Yep.
And the rear cargo parcel shelf really helped eliminate or lessen a lot of that boominess.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I think if someone were to fab up a fabric piece here, it would help this car. This car going down the highway, you do hear that low resonance frequency a little bit too much, in my opinion. You can notice huge deep wells on either side of this underfloor tray here. Yeah. The reason is no subwoofers. This is only a 7-speaker audio system versus the premium's 15 speaker with 2 subwoofers, I believe.
Yes.
There are holes back here for speakers. I wonder if they have them back here. Don't know. And a little light, so you still get a light to light up your cargo area. Huge underfloor storage. I mean, Tesla Model Y packaging is truly world class. I mean, it is some of the best amount of storage you can have in a vehicle. And yes, the rear seats do fold down manually. How does that work?
I think
let's take a look.
What way are you going?
Oh, there's a little pull strap here like Cybertruck. So you pull this and then that goes.
Nice.
Almost fully flat, totally acceptable. Should we do the back seat review?
Yes.
And the rear seats still do recline to multiple positions, which is great. But it is no longer a powered second row seat, which I'm okay with. I don't really think it's that needed, to be honest. So, second row review. Now this seat's all the way back. And this seat's way too far forwards. So it shows you, I guess, somewhere in the middle is where it'll be. Plenty of second row space in this vehicle, both headroom and leg room, and also width room. This is a comfortable second row place to be. Interesting change for this car is it looks like it should have an armrest that folds down here. It actually does, but also doesn't. So first of all, if you have an extra person here, this is your seat headrest, and so it is a 5-seater vehicle, still no 7-seat available. But when you fold this down, you get the ski pass through with cup holders in the back.
I kind of like that.
I like it. I think it works pretty well. I mean, that's a great use of space right there, essentially. Another thing I'm noticing, and I don't remember if the standard or the premium Model Y has it or not, no seat back pockets.
No, and?
Oh, yeah. We should mention the obvious.
Yeah. No screen.
No touch screen.
And these are manual controls. So.
Which feel great, by the way.
Yeah.
Really nice. They put this sort of texturized material. It feels like the Porsche shifter.
Oh, wow.
It's
Yeah,
just the plastic version of that.
That does feel good. Yeah, I mean, that's fine with me.
Yeah, they still give you the 60-watt USB-C ports and I think 45 back here, but they still give you high-power USB-C ports, tons of room, and I really don't mind this at all. There is still a separate rear fan control that you can control from the main touchscreen. However, there is no third climate zone where you can adjust the temperature coming out of these vents.
Right.
But you can adjust fan speed in terms of low, medium, or high. Those are your only settings. We'll show you that when we go through the software tour and differences up here. Honestly, back seat for most people, aside from losing the map pocket and also losing the glass roof experience, which I think made Model Y really special, especially knowing there's still a glass roof up here, kind of bugs me a bit, but there's a lot of people that don't like the glass roof and will appreciate having a standard roof option like this. However, I can't get over Tesla just continuing to install a light colored headliner in all of their vehicles. Yeah. Just put a black headliner in it. It would make everyone's day a lot better. It makes it look super cheap with a light color headliner. Same goes for even their performance models. Especially give those a dark colored headliner. Would be great. One thing we should mention is the emergency door release, Alyssa.
Yeah.
If we open that back up really quick, is immediately available there. That's been a topic recently of automatic door open buttons failing if the car's in a major accident and loses 12-volt power or something. The manual door release is boom right there, available, easy to grab, lift up, and go. Door close test.
Yeah.
Pretty nice. Not perfect.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
It's all right. Give it a B.
Yeah, it just had a secondary reverberation in there. Not that it really matters to me too much. What should we mention about the front seat? There's so much to get into here. First, let's discuss the door card. Has this really nice fabric type textile material around here. Still soft touch, and still soft touch even down here. Is it? No, it's just high grade plastic.
Yeah. But
it feels nice. Like, it doesn't feel as crappy as even like an Escalade IQ lower door.
Yeah.
Which is like obscenely bad. No kick plate that says Model Y anymore. You can see it's just open right there, but I think it looks totally acceptable. All the trim stuff, that's where I want them to take the cost out of it.
Right, and no ambient lighting.
Yeah, this car does recommend, I'm just looking here, 42 PSI front and rear, and there's 1,102 pounds of available payload, which is plenty. So you can bring your big friends along with you.
Yeah.
And their stuff.
Yeah, you can pack
Load
it
it up. Let's go. Sounds fun. Okay. Seat itself is looking really nice. I think the textile works. I've always loved Tesla textile interior materials, and this is the newest generation, like I mentioned, from the Tesla Semi team. It's hardy, it's durable, it's breathable. It's been hot here. I've been wearing my sweatshirt today. The seat has felt awesome. I actually think I would prefer these seats over the standard ventilated seats, Alyssa.
Really? Yeah?
Yeah, I really like them.
Yeah, you do. I mean, you don't get to like stick with it. I mean, I know with the ventilated seats, they do have the air cooling feature. So that's a huge plus, but these seats are extremely comfortable.
We also durability tested them already, and we'll show you the before and then now the after. But we went to Chick-fil-A for lunch about an hour ago, and I accidentally spilled some Chick-fil-A sauce all over myself and the seat. So let's roll that clip. Durability test. I just spilled Chick-fil-A sauce on the textile seat. This fell over. Let's test it out. Wow. Not too bad. This is with no water yet. Coming back nicely. This is real world durability testing right here.
So took some of these.
Oh yeah, some hand wipes. So far not looking so great, to be honest. There we go. And don't forget right up over here, Alyssa. Yeah, I know, it's a little bit out of view. There we go. All right. And now after wiping it down, let's take a look at the damage here. Wow, it honestly looks like nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, just maybe a little bit darker through here, but honestly, I think it's totally acceptable from a stain perspective.
Yeah, it doesn't feel sticky.
No, feels cool. That wiped up really nicely. So that's quite impressive. Before we jump inside the car and run through everything, I just want to bring to everyone's attention, I think, the worst part of this entire car. And it sounds not that big of a deal until today. I've been driving it around and it's been a constant annoyance for me. And that is that they've moved the seat controls from the side of the seat and put them in the navigation screen. and never, I mean the touch screen. That's been super annoying because I can't just like push the seat back right here in order to get in because it looks like it's a little bit too close. I have to like go a couple menus deep and then move it around. So what do you say we jump in, Alyssa, and we start talking about the front cabin of this car?
Okay.
Before we do anything here, Alyssa, it's time for you to peel the cover off this screen.
Yes, first things first.
Nice.
Y'all are welcome.
Let's do mirror check. Do those have, so they haven't removed that for the standard car.
No, they have not. But the usability is not there.
Oh, did it break?
Yeah.
What's going on here?
There we go.
Nice. All right, now back to the review.
Okay, I'll take it.
Here you go. All right, so let's say I'm in grandma driving position. I don't know how I ended up here, but it's somehow this is what it thinks my profile wants, which is what I've never saved it to before.
Right.
And I've been having issues with my profile getting the wrong seating positions recently. I've got to go into this menu right here, which is this, and then I can push the seat back. Doesn't seem like that big of a deal.
No, it's really not.
Yeah, it's not, but it's just one of those things that I'm like, I'd just rather reach down here and do it while I'm doing some other stuff.
Yeah,
And
I get it.
I can't imagine the switches cost very much. Like, add an extra $20 to the cost. Give me those switches
Right,
back.
because it is still powered at that point. If you're trying to save costs, just make them manual.
The other thing was I was trying to lean back earlier. I had a migraine earlier today.
Yeah.
And I was just trying to relax. And I'm like, I can't actually put the seat back and reach the screen.
Oh, yeah.
And now when I want to go up, I've got a, good ab workout, of course. But they want you to pay money to do this. So it's okay, but you can see I've already like had my finger slip off the button. I think it was something I wasn't worried about until I started to live with it, and then I was fine. Now Tesla's response to this is, well, you have one seating position, so you just basically set it once, save it to your profile, and you'll never have to go back into it. But I think, Alyssa, you'll agree with me, on a long trip or even day-to-day driving, I'm always moving my position around.
Yeah, I know when I'm road tripping, I sometimes prop a leg up, sometimes it's down, sometimes I want to sit a little bit lower, my back and adjustments. And so, yeah, I am moving the seat a lot when I am driving for long distance.
Yeah, so I think if that's the worst part of this car, that's okay. But this is like a really usable thing that I thought was not beneficial to the user. And I guess that's the point. It's to take cost out of the car, but there we go. Before we go through the rest of the display, you have two wireless phone chargers here with no active cooling, but you can still put your phone right there essentially. Hold on one second. I just had some numbers showed up on the screen. Let me clear that out. You can throw it there and it can wirelessly charge your device. You can put two of them there at the same time. This is the car key pad reader.
Yeah, we haven't taken it out yet.
No.
We probably should have done that to begin with.
Let's pull this out really quick.
Yeah.
Let's see what the Model Y key cards look like. Are they
Made
the
in
same?
France.
Yeah, we learned. Well, at least the Cybertruck ones were made.
This one too.
This one too?
Yeah, made in France.
How about that?
I know.
All right, let's open this bad boy up. Come on! Unboxing key cards. Tesla. It's going to say base model. No, it just says tap the key on the B pillar like you normally would.
Looks all the same.
Looks all the same. Man, I thought they were going to go some... Should have spent more money. We're going to get into the range and charging and battery because that's also different later on. We've already filled up this space with Excedrin from my headache earlier. And
Sunglasses.
sunglasses.
A water bottle.
But that's the point of this space. That's how people will use it. This was feedback that they took from the Cybertruck owner community, which we were a part of. And we loved having that big open, I think it was called the yacht floor back in the day of early Model S. We loved having this big open cavernous space. And I really think you lose nothing over the normal Model Y by having this setup whatsoever.
No, it just overall gives you more space, which is great. And
You can put a big
I feel
bag
like this
there.
one's a bit deeper than the Cybertrucks. I don't know, I'm not 100% sure. But
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because I feel like everybody with the Cybertruck wanted more of like a shelf to add into it.
Yes.
So
I'm just looking for other USB ports or anything interesting throughout here.
There
I
it
know
is.
there's one right there. That's the high power one.
Yeah.
And you still get a pretty deep center console area. And it's interesting that this is where you tap for the key cards to go rather than back here behind the cup holders.
yeah.
But I guess this would be old school Model Y and 3. This is new school Model Y and 3 up
Yeah,
there.
I kind of like it up there because then I can just leave the key card there.
Yeah, of course, like they had it taped there as an example. That works pretty well. It does retain the turn signal stock,
It's very nice.
which I think a lot of people prefer. Although I will say, because we have a Model 3 long range rear wheel drive, Jordan's car, I've been hitting the lights and the wipers in this one.
Yeah, I've been doing that because I've been dailing the Model S, and so I've been
That's
hitting
right.
those.
Our S has that too.
Yeah.
But I think that's something that is unique to us because we're in and
Right.
out of a lot of cars. If you own this, the turn signal is nice to use and works really well. I wish they would put a shifter here, but just like normal Model Y, you can come up here and have your override
Yeah, they're there.
right there.
Yeah.
Yep. So that works as well. Other things, like we mentioned, you have the same autonomy suite with the automatic washing front bumper cam.
That's nice.
That is a nice feature for sure. And I think we should run through other differences in the software. For example, HVAC, you only have heated seats, no longer ventilated seats, but you still get the cool swing mode of HVAC, which drives me insane, but I know a lot of people do like that, where it will create this breeze effect, as you can see happening here with the airflow. I'm going to turn that off. You still get the wiper heater position. You get a heated steering wheel. That's impressive to me in the base model.
Yeah, that is very nice.
That's really nice. You get the rear defrost as you would expect, and swing mode for the passenger side. Just like every car should have, keep climate, dog mode, and camp mode. Tesla does that great. Dog mode is one of the best reasons to buy a Tesla because you can hit dog mode, keep the climate on, now down to 63 degrees. Shout out to Tesla for making it colder than it used to be. And you can monitor them with the interior camera and also have the temperature on the car. They do it better than anyone.
Yep.
It's just awesome. Love it. By the way, the thermal system on this car is, aside from the HEPA filter going away, identical to the rest of the Model Y. So heat pump, heat scavenging. They did the moisture separator like Juniper had, so you no longer got that stinky moisture or moldy smell that like early Model Y suffered from. Do you remember that? R3 had it sometimes.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, and that's all been fixed with the new generation. So this car gets all of those upgrades as well, which is awesome. You just don't get the HEPA filter with bioweapon defense mode, which is reasonable.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. When you go to the rear setting, this is where you get your 3 low, medium, and high. Oh no, sorry, 2 setting.
Yeah, just low and high.
Low and high for the rear fan portion right there out of these vents. I think they need to add the visual of the airflow coming out like they have for the front vents.
Yeah.
That'll probably come through a software update. We'll turn the rear fan off for now. In terms of other apps, you get everything that you get in a normal Tesla, not decontented at all. We really have to give them props for fully stacking the software in this vehicle, Alyssa.
Yeah, they said they really just wanted to keep the overall experience the same throughout all their cars when it comes to the tech, because they are known for the tech. So they don't want to give anybody a lesser experience just because they're buying a cheaper car, which that's awesome.
They have amazing deep menus for you to learn EV stuff like I'm showing you here. You can watch YouTube on here. You can browse the web. You can take a Zoom call. You can have your Spotify built right in. To me, it's still the best software of any car sold in our market and maybe even the world, even some of those Chinese cars. I think this is just a better laid out, easier to use system. Incredibly powerful, incredibly snappy. I mean, look how smooth everything is moving that around. That's so impressive. Still has some of the best route planning out there. For example, I can go from here to Fort Collins, Colorado. Let's throw that in, let it calculate in real time. Boom, done. Amazing.
Yeah, that's seriously unmatched within any other car company.
Yeah, I mean, some of the Volkswagen stuff actually has been calculating routes that quickly.
Yeah.
But they don't have just that integrated Tesla supercharger network with plug and charge happening in just a couple seconds that makes it absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
You can see here the stops in this one, 10 minutes, 13 minutes, 24 minutes, 13 minutes, 17 minutes. This is going to be a road tripper.
Yeah, and also for people who don't know, you can set your overall arrival energy. The one thing that I didn't press, but
Yeah.
you can, and that can help get you even lower to different charging stops.
No, it's only for the end destination.
Well, if you just put the charging stop as your end destination versus having it fully routed, you
Right,
can
if you want to ignore the trip planner, you can manually do it
Correct.
and it'll get you there lower. Absolutely. Of course, FSD is an option. I bet this will have the lowest take rate of full self-driving software out of any Tesla vehicle, the standard models. Because you would go into this for price-related reasons, and FSD is going to be 8, 10, I don't know how much they're charging now. Lots of thousands of
Yeah,
dollars.
I think it's at 8,000.
Yeah, so I feel like that's a huge percentage of what the car
Yeah,
costs.
it
But
is.
I think what's really a shame is maybe this is actually the worst part about the car If you don't get FSD, you only get traffic aware cruise control. Tesla does not offer, ignore the one strikeout. Tesla does not offer basic lane centering or autopilot on the new standard Model Y.
Yeah, that's not good.
Not good.
That was our biggest, well, one of my biggest annoyances and gripes with the Cybertruck is that it never got basic autopilot.
Right, Cybertruck is the same way as well. So
Yeah.
both Cybertruck and the new standard Model Y, we'll have to look at the Model 3, I'm pretty sure it's the same.
So
You
they
get
just
nothing or
going
everything.
away with it?
Enhanced autopilot or just
Yeah.
basic autopilot might be gone. I just wish they would give me basic lane centering on the highway. Just stay in the lane.
Yeah, like
because
what my Audi has. It's nothing.
I think that's going to turn a lot of people off from this.
Yeah.
Because it is a kind of a requirement for people just to have dumb lane centering with adaptive cruise control.
Right.
Which like every Hyundai and Kia and Toyota pretty much offers now. And here you have Tesla, known for their autonomy, even in their base spec, not doing any lane centering. It will push you in if you're going to run out of the line, right? It's got the lane departure stuff. And some people love to drive and want no driver assistance. But I do think there is a large community who doesn't care about FSD or need its, insane capability and just want highway lane assist.
Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly in that group. When I'm on the highway, I would rather use autopilot than FSD.
Yeah.
And then also, I mean, we're fortunate enough to be able to have it on our cars, but I don't think I personally would ever buy it for myself on my own. If I had the option to just have autopilot, that is plenty enough for me.
Yeah, I like it just because I like watching the tech, but I haven't seen like a life improvement yet because it still forces you to watch the road.
Yeah,
Like an
a
insane
lot.
amount.
Yeah.
And I just want to be able to text. When I can text or work or get stuff done, that's when it opens up your time.
Yeah, like you can't even just like try and toggle to get to any of these options here before it starts to yell
Yeah,
at
it goes
you.
beep beep. It's like, I just flip it off every time. Drives me insane. So I think that's a problem. And they really need to offer basic autopilot, even if it's $2,500 or $2,000. We need that.
Yeah.
Please, Tesla, make that happen. Other stuff in here, lighting. There's no ambient lighting inside the vehicle, so you'll notice that there's no light strips.
Yeah.
There is some accent lighting at night, so like footwell lighting, I believe, and of course you still have dome lights up here that I can flip on. So all of that is still there, but you don't get the colored ambient lighting anymore, which is fine. I think that's okay. Other than that, Alyssa, I think you kind of get everything normal. Oh, a weird thing that's different in this car. You don't get tire pressure sensors.
Oh.
They do it the way your Audi e-tron works, actually.
Oh.
They do it by calculating the rotation of the wheel and tire.
Okay.
So you set them to 42 on yourself. You hit calibrate. You drive for a little bit. I'm sure they have the actual program of doing it. Calibrate tire pressure. Here. You fill tires to the recommended pressure. Then you drive for 15 minutes above 15 miles an hour. And calibration will complete more quickly at highway speeds. That makes sense. And then it learns the rotation of the tire. And as you lose pressure, the wheel travel is different. And that's how it gauges your pressure. But
Okay, it still tells you.
yeah, it totally works. It just doesn't give you the numerical readout. It'll just tell you if you're low,
Okay.
which is fine.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing to take out cost-wise, but
Yeah, that is.
it works.
Okay.
Let's see. Other than that, still got everything in there. It's got the battery health menu, 100%. It's got the manual charge port heater, which is good, which is nice. And software menu, we are currently on the production software 2025.32.100, V13 FSD. That should get all updates, of course. And everything else is the same. We'll talk about the audio system later. Let's run outside because I want to talk battery, range, efficiency, nerd stuff. Alyssa, I have great news.
What is it?
Come on over.
Okay.
This vehicle launches with NACS,
Whoa, no way. I never knew a Tesla to have NACS in the US.
North American Charging Standard, or J3400. Interestingly, this Model Y has a different onboard charger and a different battery pack than we've seen before.
Really?
Yes, it is a 32 amp onboard charger rather than a 48 amp onboard charger. So your
Okay.
AC charging matches that of the small battery Model 3 LFP.
Okay.
But this is still a high nickel chemistry battery pack. It uses the same Panasonic cell as the Model Y Premium. But they've taken about 7, 8, 9% capacity out of it. And they didn't just remove a module, which would actually lower the total pack voltage. They removed P count, What I mean by that is you have a battery pack that's wired in a certain number of cells in series and a certain number of cells in parallel. And the number of cells wired in series is how you get your overall pack voltage, and your overall cells in parallel basically add to the capacity. And I mean, yes, every cell does add to the capacity, but hopefully you're following along with my logic. What I love that Tesla has done here is they have only removed the P count cells. Not all of them, of course, but I think they removed a string of them. And that means that this car still gets over 300 miles of EPA rated range with an under 70 kilowatt hour battery pack. Now, I'm not sure if, I think they quoted 69 kilowatt hours in there, right, Alyssa?
I don't 100% remember.
Yeah, 68, 69, but they weren't sure if that was gross or usable. We'll have to do the full calculation testing out of this. So it's an interesting way to just remove a little bit of cost out of the vehicle. And again, my impression, this is just my personal feeling, was I wish Tesla took even more cost out of this car and removed more battery cells, or gave us a smaller LFP battery pack that we could charge to 100% every day. Because you still have the 80% daily recommended charge limit for this vehicle. And you can, of course, charge it more if you want to, but you'll degrade the life of your cell even quicker. And so I do recommend keeping them at relatively low state of charge, especially for storage, and no more than 80% for daily usage. An LFP, you'd pretty much be able to full charge all the time with much better lifetime performance. There's a lot of battery mineral sourcing stuff. We don't have a great LFP supply chain here in North America, so that's why I'm guessing they did this. They already had a bunch of supply chain for these Panasonic 2170 cells that go into this vehicle. And yeah, pretty interesting way to do it. And I can't wait to do a full charging test. And that will be coming on our out of spec testing channel the same day this video goes live. It's also the identical battery that's used in the Model 3 standard. So that will give you a full charging analysis, capacity analysis. Everything I can give you will be over on our out of spec testing channel. I'll leave that video linked in the description as soon as it goes live. I'm not sure at what time everything will go up, but I can't wait to dive into the charging performance, because my guess is it's going to hit 250 kilowatts and then just do the Tesla thing and not hold it for very long. That seems to be the way they're going. And it's a real shame, in my opinion. I can understand it for a base model, like this is cheap spec, that's great. I really hope Tesla takes charging performance seriously into the future. They are falling so far behind. For most people, though, who have access to home charging and take the occasional road trip, it really doesn't matter. And the benefit of having an insanely efficient car, now that we're talking about range here, is not to be understated. You can go and take a slower charging vehicle that's more efficient and still be better off on a road trip. And it's better on your wallet, it's better on the planet, and it's better on the weight of the vehicle and safety, and so many other benefits to going with a smaller battery with a more efficient vehicle. And that's where I'm so impressed with the new Tesla Model Y in terms of efficiency, which is what we should go do now. We should go run this car at 70 miles per hour, not for a full range test, but a almost 40-mile loop up on the highway to gauge its efficiency running at 70 miles an hour. I think you guys will be just as blown away as I was.
70 mile per hour range test, actually not 70 mile per hour efficiency test time. We don't have time to do a full range test on this thing, at least not to run it dead properly, all that stuff. But I am curious how efficient the new Model Y is at 70 miles per hour with the new wheels on it. Now, there's a reason I'm doing it down here at 38% state of charge. Is I don't want to be dead doing a efficiency test, but I want some voltage in the pack. However, I tried to put as many miles on it as I could to break in the tires. Tires can make a huge difference to efficiency, and brand new tires are actually super inefficient. So 500 to 2,500 miles, that's kind of a good period to do a range test on a car. We only have 172 miles on this, but it'll give us a really good indication as to the efficiency of the new Model Y standard with the base 18-inch wheels. So let's reset trip B. Boom, there we go. I'll do that one last time. We are going to keep passenger climate on. Is that okay, Alyssa? Mm-hmm. For you? And so it's not like how we would typically run a range test where we would turn that off.
Right.
But other than that, we'll have every setting in its maximum efficiency setting. We'll come here, acceleration and chill shouldn't make much of a difference. And deceleration's all good. With that said, let's just one last time reset the trip. 1, 2, 3 into drive and gentle acceleration up to 70 miles per hour onto the highway. What we're going to do is run, I don't know, 15, 20 miles in one direction, turn around 15, 20 miles back. We are at the on-ramp to the toll road in front of Gigafactory, Texas, where this car is built. And yep, there it is right there. Super cool to be doing this. We'll basically run down the highway at 70 for a bit, run back up here and look at the consumption so we have a general idea as to what the new Model Y will do. Let's get it up to 70. By the way, one thing we did check on this car is 70 miles per hour is 70 GPS, which is unusual for a Tesla. Teslas are always one off. This one, bang on perfect. And it's doing its thing. We're gonna keep it in standard, 70 max. Rock and roll. Well, we are about to exit on our turnaround point for the 70 mile per hour efficiency test. You can see FSD is pulling us off here. Just under 17 miles in one direction. We used 4.6 kilowatt hours. I don't know if we gained or lost elevation, which is why we're going to only log the round trip efficiency. 272 watt hour per mile on this first leg, so that's like 3.8-ish miles per kilowatt hour. Seems very efficient at highway speeds initially, even considering the tires aren't broken in yet. Yeah, and it's hot out, but hot is good for efficiency. So the warmer, the better for these things typically. FSD making the turn for me nicely. Have to say, full self-driving in this is a million times better than the Cybertruck we've been driving.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's pretty damn good. So let's get it back up to 70 miles an hour. We'll run 17 miles in the other direction and log the efficiency number, and that's when we'll have a confident result for you. But things are going well, and you know, it's 95 degrees outside, like I mentioned, but the warmer, the better, the less air density you have, the hotter it is. And honestly, cooling takes very, very little energy, especially when you have no glass roof like this. So I think it's a pretty optimal condition to get the most amount of efficiency out of this car, except for the tires not being fully broken in yet. And if you look ahead, you'll see there's Gigafactory, Texas, which means the loop is almost complete. We've been sitting at 70 miles an hour the whole time, and this is a good case as to why you always do a loop style test when you're calculating efficiency, because one way doesn't work. There's only too many variables. You have to cancel out elevation. And this is proof right here. When we turned around, we were at 280 watt hour per mile or so, right, Alyssa? Somewhere around there. Now, on the round trip at 70 miles an hour, 241 watt hour per mile. That is over 4 miles per kilowatt hour at 70 miles an hour. You know, full loop over a 33 mile test. Now FSD wants to get off here, but we're not doing it. We're going to continue because I want to drain this thing down for a charging test. You can watch that over on the OUTOFSPECR testing channel, because this again does have the different battery. But take a look, there's Gigafactory Texas, driving by it right now, and this thing just did well over, comfortably over 4 miles per kilowatt hour at 70. Now we don't have to do the test anymore. It's foot down. Oh, I'm in chill mode. I was like, why is this thing so slow? And we can drain the rest of this battery pack down. Let me precondition it to the nearest supercharger so that it gets the temperatures all dialed in, because this supercharger that we're going to charge it at the factory is not shown in the car. And yeah, things are great. So amazing efficiency. Considering everything. I mean, this is really an efficient car. That was pretty impressive. It's probably going to be like 4.2 miles per kilowatt hour once it's all broken in. That's insane.
Holy smokes, over 4 miles per kilowatt hour cruising at 70 miles an hour in an extremely spacious and comfortable electric SUV. That is to be commended. And what do you think, Alyssa?
Yeah, that was extreme. Like, that was just amazing. I mean, it is a really warm day, so that is extremely helpful as well. But we also, like we mentioned in the video, these tires aren't completely broken in. So, you know, I think everything kind of outweighed itself. But those numbers are just phenomenal.
Yeah,
those are
absolutely phenomenal. Tesla efficiency is not to be underestimated. And I think a lot of the charging complaints that I'll probably have with this on the OUTOFSPECR testing video can be offset by the insane efficiency. And I really think if you're going to go for the standard spec Model Y, go no options. That's my feeling. What do you think, Alyssa? I think you go for these Aero 18-inch option.
Yeah, if you're going to go base, go base. I mean, that we were kind of talking, I mean, I don't know if we want to get into price right now.
We can.
Okay, yeah, we were kind of talking, and I was mentioning in the meeting, I'm like, okay, Is this like $5,000 less than the, what are they calling it?
The Model Y premium rear drive.
The premium rear drive. I mean, I feel like paint colors are more expensive than that these days. So,
well, if you're at Porsche prices,
right, yeah,
13 grand for paint.
I mean,
to
if you're
sample.
adding on like different paint, which there are different paint options for that, they have
Only
not
3 colors.
Yeah, but they haven't stated the pricing yet.
Probably
But
1,000.
we might know. I don't know.
Well, the configurator will tell you when this video goes live. But you can only get this car in white, black, or blue.
Right.
Go white. Standard.
Yeah. I mean, I think most people will anyways. I mean, that's kind of the more popular color to get with any cars. But yeah, I'm still kind of conflicted on whether $5,000 is enough of a price decrease to not just go to the fully, not fully option, but the
premium rear drive.
Premium, yeah, which has the, rear screen and all that stuff, the roof or whatever. I mean, I think it all just comes down to what people's preferences are. And I think this will be a huge preference for a lot of people.
I agree. Can we talk about performance?
Yeah.
0 to 60 in this one. You want to take a guess, Alyssa? The Model Y premium rear drive is 0 to 60 in 5.4 seconds.
Oh.
How much slower do you think they made the new car, the cheaper car?
I feel like they shouldn't make it that much slower, but maybe they did. Maybe like a second or so.
Yeah, more than a second.
Oh, wow.
6.8 seconds.
Oh.
Almost 7 seconds, 0 to 60.
Okay, well, I mean, I've always argued I don't really care for that like head-banging speed.
Yeah, we know you're
G-forces.
driving an old Audi e-tron.
I know, I love it. But it's fast enough to get you. My biggest thing is when I'm at a stoplight, I don't like to drive beside people if I'm like the first one, so I like to just go ahead and get going. This will still get you to that point, and I think for a lot of new EV drivers, this is still going to feel really fast.
While we're on that topic though, 0 to 60 doesn't tell the whole story of this car's power output. Because what Tesla has done is they have done this artificial feeling power ramp up, where when you mat it off the line, it almost just bogs and it ramps in power. And it's not till about 50 miles an hour that it's really giving you everything that it can get. And so what I'd love to do is include our acceleration portion of this video, because what's interesting is I bet the 60 to 100 time is not far off the Model Y Premium, but the 0 to 60 is way slower because they give it this artificial ramp in at low speed. We should also mention before we play that clip, what is different about the rear motor. It is a permanent magnet motor, but it is different than the premium rear-wheel drive. The standard model actually removes some of the silicon carbide drivers on the inverter. So it is a physically less powerful motor, and that's where they can save quite a bit of cost because silicon carbide drivers in the inverter are quite expensive. Interestingly, they did not go to IGBTs for this car. They are still using not silicon, but silicon carbide inverters because they wanted the efficiency under light to medium acceleration that you get by going to silicon carbide. So a really efficient package right here, but you just don't have that big power output until the motor's up and spinning. Let me show you the clip. I actually think it's more than acceptable.
Time for the acceleration test. 3, 2, 1, full throttle. Very smooth launch of this car. And it ramps in at 50 miles an hour. It seems to give you everything it wants, and 60 and beyond. It gives you more and more and more. So we are at 20% state of charge. That's not a calculated 0 to 60. When we get this thing over to the out-of-spec track, we'll run all the performance numbers on it. But in general, it's a pretty lethargic launch. And then the faster you go, the more power it gives. It's a very unusual experience in an electric car because most electric cars give you everything off the line and then die. This actually just builds and builds. So here at 50 miles an hour, if I hit it, it's a pretty big hit of power. And earlier I hit it allegedly over 80 and I was like, whoa, getting thrown back in the seat. So it really likes the speed to add power on, which is, I think, a pretty nice touch. It's unique for an electric car to build power as it builds speed.
What a cool experience to rip on this car a little bit and get more power the faster you go. I really don't think anyone's going to get in here and complain about the acceleration. Now, my daily driver is a Tesla Model S Plaid. I absolutely love ripping on it and having all of that hardcore performance. But for just cruising around, Alyssa, this gets out of its own way and it's more than acceptable, and it's still going to be way punchier, especially at medium to high speed, than a CR-V, RAV4, insert, etc.
Yeah, it'll definitely get you out of situations that you don't want to be in. It's fast enough.
Yeah, totally agree. What's interesting is the grip level of these Hankook Ion Evo AS tires is like 0. So it's kind of like any more power, you'd just be spinning tire, because even over some bumps, this thing was triggering traction control, and it's a hot, warm day out there.
Yeah, that was interesting to find out.
Yeah, but it still has that great in-motor wheel speed control where it does all of its longitudinal wheel speed control inside the inverter, so you don't have to wait on the basically CAN delay or Ethernet loop delay to an ESP module. Maybe too nerdy. Doesn't matter. It's got great traction control.
That's good.
Tesla has the best ESP out of almost anyone. It's just so well tuned. I can't say enough good things about it. And that's the kind of stuff that you're getting. Even though this is the standard Model Y, you get a lot of the engineering that goes into Model S Plaid and all of their other products, even Cybertruck, kind of trickling down into this. Now, one thing we haven't just done is drive around normally yet, Alyssa.
No, we don't ever just drive around normal, do we?
Well, we did the suspension testing, we did the range testing, but we haven't just cruised.
Yeah.
So what do you say we hop in the car to finish up the video, just go for a little drive around local roads and end with our final thoughts about the new Model Y standard.
Let's do it.
Jumping into the Model Y now to go for a drive, which is probably the least interesting thing about it, which is a good thing. It drives very, very well. I should mention there's no power folding mirrors anymore, so you have to reach over and fold them in.
No.
So it's that. The only problem with that, I think it's normally fine, but it's a good way to look at the car and see if it's locked or unlocked.
Oh, yeah, I guess I've never thought about it in that capacity.
Yeah. We should also mention the app is the same as every other Tesla, which is the best out there. You don't lose any app functionality. So you still can remote condition the car, put on dog mode, check state of charge, adjust amperage of AC charging. If you have FSD, you can do some summon related features. But I've actually turned FSD off because I think a majority of folks buying this car are not going to spring for the extra upcharge of full self-driving.
No, not unless you already have it and you can switch it over to the new car.
Right. Sometimes Tesla does allow you to trade in and transfer FSD. And so I think the driving dynamics are almost more important than that there. We should also mention, because the steering rack is manual now, that's the range of motion. It feels about the same range of motion as normal, but maybe the wheel comes out even a little bit farther.
I feel like it does.
It's a fantastic seating position in this car.
Yeah, you've been very pleased, which that is a very hard thing to please.
I love the seating position. It's really, really nice. To adjust your mirrors, you go here. I like how they say mirrors and steering, but it just tells you how to do steering. You can do the same thing where you use the scroll wheel to adjust left and right, and you can just click down, and then you can also adjust your reverse tilt.
Yep.
So that's really nice. Let's drive it.
Woo!
So pretty soft launch. Should also mention, like, the ride over these relatively big bumps and even a dirt road like we are right now at low to medium speed is really cushy.
Yeah, I would say it's pretty
Big
loud.
pothole. Oh, no, it does super well.
Yeah.
It's not in the sense where they could have gone softer, but I think they would have really given up the performance benefit. It's a really nice balance, but factoring in 80 plus 90% of people's daily driving is going to be on normal roads, highways, around town, over rough surfaces like this. They did a really nice job on the suspension. It's just the backseat experience still is lacking.
Yeah, that's pretty rough, and especially I feel like, people who are in the market for a cheap Tesla and a cheap Model Y, they maybe do a lot of ride sharing. I feel like this would be a very popular ride sharing car in the future.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Once you click the electric button, or I think there's an option for Uber or whatever,
yeah,
you might be getting a rough ride.
I wouldn't say it's rough, but I would just say it's porpoisey.
Right. I mean, if you're just traveling on the highway and you're not on roads like this, then you'll be completely fine.
Yeah, it's mostly the problem with Uber drivers is not the suspension of the car, but their throttle calibration and their actual foot.
Right.
They drive like this.
Yeah.
Here, I'm just being your average local Uber driver.
Okay. Yeah.
They really, on average, I'm sure there's one out there. I've never found them.
Actually, I had a really good Uber driver back in Wilmington the other day.
Oh yeah?
It was good.
That's awesome.
It was great.
So I'm not here to knock Uber drivers in general,
No.
but at least the ones I get matched with might have the worst driving skills on the planet. I really hate taking Ubers. I hate letting someone else drive.
I'm not a huge Uber fan.
I'd much rather have robotaxi experience.
There you go.
So to finalize our thoughts on the new Model Y, I think the lack of lane centering, the noise performance in the cabin, and the suspension and the glass roof are the 4 downsides.
Correct.
Not that big of a deal.
No, I don't think so either. And I think the way they explain is like they expect this to be somebody's first ever electric car. So you don't really know what you're losing if you're not going up to the higher spec.
And sitting here, there's no difference in my view if I had a glass roof versus not. And I do appreciate the lack of solar loading and also the quieter noise performance not having the glass roof. It feels less reverberation in the cabin. Where sometimes when I like talk to someone in a Model Y, I almost hear the sound waves bouncing off.
Okay.
And it happens in my Polestar as well,
Yeah.
which is really annoying in that car for some reason. But this feels a little bit more like you're in a sound studio.
Right, yeah, it does help with a lot of the sound deadening. And
We should talk about the sound system.
yeah.
It's very front heavy. So I've pushed some of the sound bias to the rear. That helped quite a bit. It's more than acceptable for a daily listening experience.
Yeah.
It's not going to satisfy the audiophile,
No,
but it's more than acceptable for a bass audio system.
I would agree.
Yeah, it gets loud enough. It's got enough bass, even though the bass is kind of up here. There's no real subwoofer, but I'm pretty pleased with the standard setup. It's very similar to the standard audio that's in our Model 3.
Correct.
Our long-range rear drive Model 3, the base system, Jordan's car. Final thoughts on the car. Is it cheap enough? $40,000. You're giving up quite a bit over the standard car. You're giving up charging performance and capacity, gaining it back with efficiency, which only really works in nice, mild weather conditions. The trying to make up range with efficiency doesn't really work the second you put a trailer on this thing, the second it's really cold out or you're driving really fast. You'll start to notice that lessened capacity. However, my impression is the battery is, considering the price delta, more than acceptable. It's a bigger battery than I thought Tesla was going to give us.
Yes, and I think if, like you said earlier in the video, if they would have went cheaper on the battery, then it definitely would have, lessened the cost of everything. But cost-wise, I think they could, and they still can go a little bit cheaper. They haven't, finalized this pricing yet.
You think there's some wiggle room in there?
I think there might be some wiggle room.
I think like 38 feels right, not 40.
Yeah, I just 40. I mean, but then once you compare it to like what's in the market at 40,000, it still is top dog, for sure.
No question. This is the car to buy.
Right. But then once you just look at the delta of $5,000 for this versus just getting the premium, I keep forgetting the name of it. The normal Model Y.
Yeah, the premium.
I just don't think that's a big enough price delta for me to not just say, oh, hey, what's an extra, I don't know, 50 to 100 bucks a month or something?
I actually disagree.
Okay.
But I'm glad you keep going. Sorry, I was just thinking out loud. My brain does that sometimes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I think because I do know the differences, it might bother me over time that, like, okay, I could have just spent the extra $5,000 and gotten everything in it versus spending it. But if I were new to electric cars, I think this would be more than enough for me.
The basic autopilot thing really makes the premium Model Y kind of worth it. If this had standard autopilot,
I think my decision would be swayed a little bit more.
And I think I agree. Yeah. I think until they add standard autopilot to this, go with the premium.
Yeah, I mean, that's just rude.
Sure, I don't
just rude.
Totally disagree with that. That sounds about right. Look at this traffic in Austin. Holy smokes.
Welcome to Austin at 5:30 midweek.
Okay, crazy. I would love to put it in FSD, but we didn't spend the $8,000 for it. So I've got and for some reason, traffic aware cruise control doesn't work in this car.
But I'm sure it will work in your car if you buy it.
I mean, I wouldn't be so sure.
Hey, I'm sure it will.
No, it's the cheap one. You got to pay more for the cruise control, actually.
No, I would hope not. That would
subscription.
That'd be too much.
Yeah, you can always subscribe to FSD.
It's really expensive. I don't think I'd ever really spend the money on it personally.
It's $100 a month?
That's expensive.
I don't know what it is, but yeah.
Anyways.
Nice job to Tesla on trying to make a cheap Model Y standard, but I think the problem was there was so much hype there's so much excitement around a really cheap car, and like going super bare bones, going small battery, really, you know, maybe even shortening the car was kind of the rumor.
Yeah.
And making something that was under 30 grand, and then to be presented with a $40,000 Model Y, it's just a little bit less than the normal one. But I think it's, considering everything you get in this car, still a very nice value.
How much is that Model Y competitor in China that we saw?
The Xiaomi U7 or the Envo L60?
Yeah.
Yeah, about the price of this.
Okay.
And that gives you lane centering.
Yeah, it does. Tesla, it does. Yeah, y'all got to fix that.
Yeah, that has to be fixed immediately.
Non-negotiable.
Thanks for watching another Out of Spec Reviews video. Let me know what you think about the price down below in the comments section. Is it worth it? Would you spend the extra $5 grand? Would you save $4,000 or $5,000, yeah, about $4,000 and go for the Model 3 standard, which comes with a glass roof, matrix high beams, and a non-visually distinctive exterior, so no one knows you actually got the base model. I'm feeling like that's what I should do.
Yeah.
And we're going to get one, I think.
Let's do it.
I don't know if we should go for base Model 3 or base Model Y, but it definitely seems like they're going to be volume sellers for Tesla. We should have one to run through all the testing to own for the next year or so.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, well, thanks for watching. We'll see you in another one again soon. It is getting reasonably dark outside right now, which means it's time to look at the lighting on the new Model Y standard. So I'm going to kick the parking lights on, then the headlights, then the high beams. So I will go into our lighting. So this is the parking light function.
Ooh.
I will then hit the left turn signal and the right turn signal, and then the hazards.
Would you look?
We will then go with the lighting on, so you can see that main beam illuminated in there. And I can also show you the high beams on and off. There you go. You can see the license plate light still LED lit, which is nice. No rear light bar back here. And these running lights look great, Alyssa. I'm going to hit the hazards here and also the brake, because I'm curious how they did the center high mounted stop lamp, or the chimsel, which you probably won't see from your angle, but we'll get there. So this is left turn signal, right turn signal. No amber, unfortunately. Shout out to the amber crew though. Brake lights with turn signal integrated. Is it, Alyssa? Yeah. It's kind of a bummer, honestly. And then, is there a center high mount lamp up here that you can see? No?
Yep.
Yeah? Okay. Legally, there would have to be one, I think. And then, let me see if there's a rear fog in the settings for y'all. Let's take a look. Lights, no rear fog. That's lighting on the outside. Inside, come around here. Let's take a look and see what we have. We have destroyed this Model Y already, but not seeing much in the back. I do see lamps in the door pockets, which are nice, I think. You know what? Maybe not. Maybe not. But in the footwells for sure.
Yeah.
Are there?
I don't know.
What? Hold on. Let me go here and put...
So now it's in night mode?
I gotta put parking lights on maybe? Or headlights on? Yeah, kind of hard to tell, to be honest.
I said there was.
I saw them a few seconds ago.
Oh.
I thought it could have just been a reflection. Anyway, no cool ambient lighting or anything, but it's not super dark out here, and we have to return the car an hour ago. So typical us holding on to things late to do nerd charging tests.
Yep.
That's the lighting as far as we can tell. Headlights look pretty good. What'd you think?
Yeah, I liked them. I thought they're very chic.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. A couple Tesla employees came by. Shout out to those of you who said, hey, well, we're here. Thanks.
Yeah. Hello.